Volcarona, on paper, is one of the most promising new Pokemon to be introduced in Generation 5. It's got disgusting stat distribution, two of the most detestable boosting moves that it could have asked for, which paired perfectly with each other, allowing it to snowball very easily, and it's got a good offensive type with Giga Drain as like the most random but perfect coverage that it could have asked for. With all of that being said, you may be wondering why I'm so up in arms about this thing. It's because this shit is fucking unusable in a playthrough. Obviously, I'm being a little bit hyperbolic when I say that, but when you see all the measures that Game Freak took to make sure that this piece of shit Pokemon was as inconvenient to use as possible, you'll come to understand that I really wasn't even exaggerating that much. Starting off with the original games, Pokemon Black and White. If I were to describe Larvesta in Pokemon Black and White, it's like somebody giving you the keys to a really nice car, but you have to walk across the city in order to actually get to the car, and then when you finally do get there, you can only drive it around in the parking lot that it was found in. The Larvesta egg on Route 17 was meant to be a reward to the player for going back and exploring previous routes after they get surfed to unlock new areas. The problem with this is that Larvesta is fucking terrible. Even looking past the fact that you have to race this thing from level 1, its stats are already garbage by the time that you get it, because you're only given the option to get it after you've already beaten 6 of the 8 gyms in the game, which means that you're not going to be fighting the punk ass Pokemon that this guy was meant to be fighting anymore. On top of that, its level up moveset is absolutely fucking atrocious, and this nigga is just ugly. All of this could be excused if it weren't for the fact that if you want to train this thing up, you're forced to go into battle with this subpar, under-equipped, borderline unusable Pokemon with terrible moves, or you have to use the shit-ass pre-Gen 6 experience share. And as if all of that wasn't bad enough, because Larvesta randomly just has the 3rd highest evolution level in the entire series, it's highly unlikely that you're even gonna have Volcarona by the time that you get to the Pokemon League. Even most of the other Gen 5 dickheads with stupidly high evolution levels will at least be able to evolve by the time that you get to the Elite Four, with the exception of Dino, who admittedly is guilty of a lot of the stuff that Larvesta is. And what happens if you decide not to grind? Then you'll have to wait until the post-game for your Larvesta to evolve, so enjoy using your Volcarona for all of 6 major battles, 4 of which are rematches. All in all, Black and White was a complete flop for this Pokemon's evolution line. So is Black and White 2 any better? No, not really. If Larvesta in the first game was like somebody giving you the keys to a car, then Volcarona in Pokemon Black and White 2 was like somebody just giving you the car, except the car is all busted up with broken headlights, absolutely decorated with dents. It's got 2.5 flat tires and the license plate is expired. Sure, it can be driven around, but it is just barely functional. Volcarona is plagued with a lot of the same issues that Larvesta is, except this time it's even more insulting because it feels like they're trying to put a band-aid on an amputated limb. It's got the same dog shit level up moveset that Larvesta has, except now it has significantly less attack to make use of the mostly physical TMs that it'll be learning if you don't want to be stuck with Fire Spin for most of your journey. It can actually be obtained at a much earlier and more convenient part of the main campaign than Larvesta can in the original games. But this comes with the caveat of it being completely useless against all of the remaining gyms, and as stated before, being stuck using weak moves like Fire Spin, because none of the fire TMs that would actually be useful on Volcarona are available until much later in the game, with Flamethrower being especially egregious because you don't get that shit until the very last route in the entire game. Much like its pre-evolution in the last set of games, Volcarona was meant to be a reward to the player for exploring after having new paths open to them. But again, just like Larvesta, this doesn't work because Volcarona is bad, it just sucks. There's pretty much no reason to use this over other Pokemon that share its types unless you're just a fan of the way that Volcarona looks, and that by itself is questionable, because what is there to like about this bald-headed, fat, pill body, beer belly, huge forehead having uncomfortably built fat fuck? Now, I don't want all of this to come off as me not liking having to work for my Pokemon. Despite what me starting off with Pokemon X and Y may imply, I do think that it's cool having to work in order to get strong Pokemon, but when you have to work excessively hard for a Pokemon that's ultimately not even worth it, then that's a bit of an issue. The moral of the story, fuck Volcarona, fuck Iron Moth, Slitherwing is cool, Larvesta sucks balls. balls. And though this has absolutely nothing to do with anything that I've talked about in this video, seeing this disgusting cretin posed as if it's standing on 2 feet has made me hate it so much more. Oh my god, I want Terapagos to die.
I cannot stop jacking my dick. I be jacking it. I cannot stop jacking my dick. I be jacking it. I cannot stop jacking my dick. I be jacking it. I cannot stop jacking my dick. I be jacking it. I cannot stop jacking my dick. I be jacking it. I cannot stop jacking my dick. I be jacking it. Cannot stop jacking my dick. I be jacking it. Cannot stop jacking my dick. I be jacking it. Love making songs about jacking it. I be on Twitter every day.